It's strange how the echoes of laughter can haunt you. I remember the last time I stood in that house, my childhood home, where I was crushed under the weight of my family's ridicule. "You'll lose your mind over this insane obsession," my brother had sneered, his voice a sharp blade cutting through my fragile resolve. "You're going to disgrace us, you know that?" My mother's weary eyes glimmered with disappointment, while my father's silence spoke volumes. They found my passion for mycological folklore haunted fungi, and the stories they carried, delusional. Years later, I returned, no longer the desperate academic seeking validation, but instead a cursed mycological archivist, a name whispered among the few who dared to tread where I had. I had uncovered secrets that twisted the very fabric of reality, exposing horrors that others dismissed as mere superstition. But these truths came at a cost, and the shadows of my findings clung to me like a second skin, reminding me of the madness I had survived. As I drove down the familiar road, the weight of my family's derision hung over me like a storm cloud. I had not only returned home, I had come back to confront the very source of my torment. My heart raced as I parked in front of the house that had once felt so suffocating. The paint was peeling, the garden overrun with weeds, but it felt eerily welcoming. I stepped inside, the scent of decay mingling with memories of laughter that felt distant now. "Look who's back!" My brother's voice echoed through the cramped living room, laced with sarcasm. The crazy mushroom lady in the flesh. My heart sank, but I swallowed my pride. I had come to show them what they had dismissed. I unveiled the findings I had collected over the years. Meticulously documented accounts of haunted fungi, their psychological effects, and the deep-rooted folklore surrounding them. My family gathered around, their expressions shifting from amusement to unease as I recounted the tales of people who had been driven mad by exposure to certain spores, of entire towns plagued by shadowy mycological entities that thrived in the dark. "You're just trying to scare us." My sister scoffed, but I paused, and for the first time, I could see the doubt etching itself into their expressions. The laughter faded, replaced by a palpable tension that hung like smoke. Then, without warning, the lights flickered. The shadows in the corners of the room deepened, stretching and contorting as if alive. A low, guttural sound echoed from the basement, a haunting resonance that seemed to seep into the very walls. My family exchanged nervous glances, and for the first time, fear gripped their faces. "You're just playing tricks," my brother protested, but his voice trembled. "There's no such thing as haunted fungi." But the shadows thickened. I stepped forward, the weight of my knowledge pressing down on me. "This is what you mocked, what you didn't believe. It's real and it's here." And then I saw it, a dark figure emerging from the corner of the room, its shape shifting and swirling, cloaked in a veil of darkness. It was a manifestation of the very spores I had studied, an embodiment of the despair and madness I had survived. The room grew colder, and I could hear the whispers, the cacophony of voices echoing in my mind. "Help us," they pleaded. "We didn't know. We couldn't see." My family screamed, their voices breaking the fragile veil between our worlds. I felt a rush of vindication mixed with horror. They were witnessing the nightmares I had fought against. The very essence of the ridicule they had cast upon me. I had become a vessel, a harbinger of the truths they had laughed at. "Please, you have to believe me now," I shouted, desperation clawing at my throat. "These stories are warnings. The darkness is real, and it's hungry." In that moment, my family realized the depth of their disbelief, the cost of their mockery. The figure loomed larger, feeding on their fear, and I could sense the shift in their hearts as they understood the price of ignorance. The shadow surged forward, and I braced myself, feeling the weight of my knowledge anchoring me. I reached out, willing the darkness to listen. I survived this, and so can you. But you must confront it. You must face what you have denied. Their screams echoed in the night as the figure receded, and I stood in the aftermath, my heart pounding. I had shown them the horrors of my world, not to punish, but to awaken them to the truth. As the shadows dissipated and the room fell quiet, I turned to my family, their faces pale with realization. "You can't ignore the darkness," I said softly. "It's always there, waiting." In that moment, I saw not just their fear, but a flicker of understanding. They were no longer mocking me. They were grappling with their own fragility. I had returned not just as an archivist of infested folklore, but as a survivor, a warning cloaked in the very shadows they had once ridiculed. As I stepped back into the night, I felt the weight of vindication wash over me, bittersweet and haunting. I had faced the darkness, and in doing so, had illuminated the path for others. But the shadows would always linger, a reminder of the cost of disbelief, a testament to the horrors that lay hidden beneath the surface. I left that night knowing that the laughter had faded, replaced by a haunting respect. They would never forget the lesson learned, nor the price of their scornful dismissal. And as I walked away, the darkness whispered my name, a reminder that I was forever intertwined with the horrors I had unearthed.